side of Miami Heretics. They, in this stage, are the best on both sides. So if you are Seattle Surge, you have to make sure you play to your strengths and basically keep the 4v4 bound.
Indeed the case. So we'll see what the early ideas are going to be. Seattle heavy stacked over towards the B site. Hook down low, Booza and 04 flanking on either side up top, and then Brezzy just kind of watching over the middle of the map. Not a lot of eyes over towards A outside of 04, who's just watching for a late cross. So yeah, Seattle fully baking that this is eventually going to be some sort of a B setup.
And I love this setup right here from Seattle Surge, because when you hold down the B Street and also bottom pit the way that they are, it's very difficult for teams to work their way up to this B objective, because, you know, a lot of teams not going to plant over towards A, but the first blood is going to go in favor of Vehicle. And then Real with the perfect read, able to time that second kill. So Miami currently in the 3v2.
And oh, the team shots over to Hook. It's absolutely destroyed. Brezzy, last one left, and he will find the first around the back, but no worries. Miami right there with the numbers, able to tally the trade, and that is a very clean opening breakdown in terms of Miami executing onto a site that was extremely well covered.
Yeah, and with this new squad, believe it or not, on the attacking side, they are #1 overall with a 9-2 round count. So whenever they are playing on the attacking side and you allow them to get the first blood, if you are Seattle, obviously you don't have any trophy systems to work with to keep yourself alive over towards the B Street. So not the most ideal setup you want to be in, but Miami capitalized on it completely in round 1.
Yeah, it's absolutely the case. All right. Like you mentioned, A plant's very rare, and it looks like Miami are kind of pulling something similar here in terms of their overall focused setup towards B. 04, MCW in hand. He can do it all with both weapons, but it does give you the intention and what kind of tempo that Seattle are trying to play with. If he's running an AR, shots towards metals are good. Finds a lot of hit markers over towards the trophy system, and then off the reload, maybe trying to follow up, but it's actually Lucky who gets first blood. Real, the timing on the back here, decent to try to isolate this B site even further, and now the bomb has been dropped over towards the B site. Nabuza gets caught trying to find a way to recollect it.
Oh, and now 04 sitting himself on the side of the map. With only 40 seconds left, that bomb's gonna be down on the site, and you have a lot of ground to try to make up. Gets info onto Vico, not able to finish the kill, and now with 35 seconds left, you have to continue to play fast, because you got to either krill 3 people or work that objective. And Miami Heretics, flawless again on the defensive side, turn it into a 3v1. You find the first blood, you shut down that early pressure over through B Street by great plays from Lucky, simply sitting in the elevator. It catches Seattle off guard for that first kill, and Miami again take full advantage of it. 2-0.
Yeah, and I like the fact that you kind of brought up the history of what Miami's been able to do on this stage in particular. It's not even the fact that the numbers are as good as they are. You got to keep in mind that they played Optic on this map and went all the way to round 11. So the fact that the numbers are still that good against a great search and destroy team really shows a lot in terms of how maybe Miami can find more success towards tallying their second win of the qualifier. Maybe still having an outside hope towards finding a way into the winner's bracket. Stuns exchanged over towards blue. Miami holding their ground on the staircase for now, as Lucky will just make sure that no one for Seattle tries to push through the underground.
Yeah, and look how different Seattle's setup is now on defense. You got a couple trophy systems, you can work your way up through that B Street. You also now putting 04 over towards this propane side, where he usually finds a lot of success. Last time we watched him on this map, what was it? Like 13 kills he was able to drop with the cruise missile. You need that guy to start to turn up.
Real just throwing shoulders all over the place. Now finds himself almost a bit awkwardly inside the B site. Prediction over towards the player, on towards this statue, or part of this big old crane here on the B point. But the bomb isn't committed to this play, and this is still Miami trying to feel things out. Where is this defense planted? Can we find an angle? And they may wait for metals to get up top towards propane before they even get a look at actually executing, but Brezzy down low finds first blood, and in the same breath, metals also drops from that top high ground position, and Seattle's defensive adjustments work out flawlessly.
And you could just tell Real, when he was jumping into the site and he gets that info onto the player at radio tower, it was very difficult for them to even think about the objective, because he's still thinking that he's probably in towards this bomb. I cannot jump my way back up and think about that objective, but Brezzy with the repositioning is able to find a double through bottom pit. Seattle Surge get their first blood of the round, and they secure it. But as we take a look at the wall bang, yeah, that guy was definitely one shot, no stim. Brezzy gets the read. Seattle Surge get their first round.
Just throwing shots, see what lands. You don't know unless you try. Abuza was right there, of course, longer to likely tally the kill if needed, but A really cool look that, yep, sometimes these walls do feel like they're fully made out of paper mache. Quick header for Seattle, trying to play up top towards the helicopter. Vehicle, I don't know if he got a look at it or not, but yeah, it looks like that was the case. Mutual information. Other side of the map, Metals finds the bomb carrier of Hook. So first blood once again goes the way of Miami in an early 4v3.
And now you just gotta stay strong on your defensive setup. Don't know if they're gonna gain that info that Hook was the bomb carrier. So Seattle Surge now have to work for that objective. But teamwork out of Miami gonna isolate 0-4 through the left side of the street.
Yeah.
Instant 4v2.
Yeah, there's just not much you can do from that position. Real sneaks through, and there's, yep, absolutely nothing Seattle can do. I mean, they haven't even had a look on a bomb site yet. And so even though we're locked in a pretty tight affair, you can definitely feel the defensive trends for Miami are a problem right now for Seattle in every form of it.
And the majority of them has been, we're getting first blood. And then you're forced to try to even up the numbers, make someone chow something that they really don't want to. And with Miami having that man-up advantage, you're just using teamwork to isolate these players from Seattle Surge. It's just great stuff for Miami. Now 3-1 in the first blood column. It wasn't really the story in map number 2 because how fast the trades went down. But on a map like High Rise where that kill can be felt, Miami are taking full advantage of it.
Absolutely. So now Seattle really have to come back with a convincing defense of their own, but wow, Real is not just through, he is playing as a defender right
first
now.
Blood?
All over the place. Stun grenade kill, vehicle finds an elimination, and this route from Real, honestly speaking, there's like a world where he maybe even doesn't want to fully show his position because I'm sure Seattle's like, wait a second, there's someone in our spawn? How has this happened? And yeah, Seattle's defense crumble this time. And Miami should be good for a fourth unless on 0-4 can pull off some miracles. And no, not going to happen. 4-1 upper Miami.
Yeah, 4 first bloods again, this time with the stun grenade. I would really love to see a replay on that because that player had to be one shot when Lucky invests that concussion over the top. But Real playing with the utmost confidence, takes a lot of ground over to that A site. Basically gives the comm that they have to be stacking again over towards B Street. And before he's even able to work that deep pinch, his team is able to take down a couple. And you put 0-4 in the 1v3, just simply stands no chance. Miami looking fantastic on High Rise.
And now it's just closing out the map. You know, we've seen this Miami team go up early and search and destroys and then have to all of a sudden survive through a round 10, round 11 affair. And how about this? Different look for Seattle, but it's read by Real deep across the map. Miami can now rotate over to deal with this A hit, and it's a lot of nades tossed their direction that push Seattle off the site.
And Hook with that smoke grenade is trying to be the decoy to at least keep them looking over towards that bomb, but crossfires are going to be set up for Miami. The call has been they have hit the rotation to try to take over towards B point again. And now I'm really curious to see how many attacks both teams have because everything was thrown over towards blue.
Well, and the thing about it for Seattle is they still don't have enough ground to even approach either of these two bomb sites. So you're absolutely right. There's not much to shrug off this defense unless they can catch an angle or catch some timing, and maybe they do hear from Hook. Real trying to slip through. The hunt is on, but Real stayed alive for an eternity. Hook still trying to chase out the elimination, and while this is all happening, Miami's finding kills up top. So a 3v2 situation. Vehicle off the regen, able to scout out Abuza, who has to give up this position towards blue, and now you look to Hook. He's got to make something happen as Miami are trying to isolate onto Abuza, and it gets to a 1v2.
And now 1v2, Hook is going to work this bomb plan over towards A. That's the second, might come back to cost them, but instantly, as soon as that bomb goes down, Miami are going to get a read on where he went.
Oh, and perfectly predicted. I don't know if Vehicle coming out of blue saw him in the last couple of the steps up the heli stairs, but it was read perfectly, dealt with even better, and now Miami find themselves on series point the blink of an eye. I mean, this has been a very fast high-rise search and destroy.
They were simply outclassing them. That's another first blood in favor of Miami. That's now 5-1. What's the score? 5-1. Miami are taking full advantage of every time they find that first kill, trading effectively on the left side of the map. Even with Hook finding that 1-on-1 versus Real on the lower end, it got nothing done because Miami on the left side, they are just trading more effectively. And now they find themselves at game point on their attacking side, which they definitely prefer. Seattle Surge, you got to try to figure it out. Rally a couple rounds together.
It just, again, nothing has looked particularly comfortable for Seattle to this point. I mean, you've got to combine 2 and 10 from 0-4 and Abuza. Not often you see that. Lucky on 6, cruise missile earned, immediately called. And with Vehicle playing over towards Propane, he will jump right into the B site. It should be a free plant here. Let's see how Lucky maneuvers this cruise, tries to get it to the mid windows. Not able to connect with anybody, but the bomb is planted and Miami are out of there 4v4.
And Seattle are the #1 retaking team currently in this stage on this map. So now they have to show it to stay alive.
Yeah.
As time is starting to tick down, and all of Miami, they have backed away from the site. So Seattle Surge are going to waste a lot of time trying to locate where these players are. Someone's eventually got to stick the defuse.
Yeah, and that's the problem, is they're trying to play for the kills because you have to, but the problem there is no one can get even tight towards the bomb. And Miami, I mean, dominate. A little shimmy, a little dance from Real there at the end. 2 wins on the qualifiers, and more importantly, it puts Miami right back into the conversation for playoff things at the end of the season, because the gap is like 15 points.
Yeah.
And you can leapfrog 2 to 4 different teams. So a huge win for Miami overall, not just in this qualifier, but on the season. And I think just overall, they had a winnable map on 6-star hardpoint, a winnable map on 6-star search. I mean, this whole series looked, I think, just generally very positive for Miami.
Oh, yeah. Miami played lights out. We're talking about players who were sitting at an overall 0.85 KD on the stage. Meadow and Vico turned that around off map #1. Lucky was really consistent for this team. The only player that was sitting at a 0.87 in control was Real. But I'm pretty sure he drops like 23 or 25 and 10 or something like that on a 10 streak in the control. And that was a deciding factor because Miami, they were sitting at 7 straight losses in that control mode. Yep. They only won 4 out of the 25 rounds they have played completely in game #3, but they closed that one out in 4. Then you get all the way to the game 5, which is your bread and butter high-rise search and destroy. You find 5 first bloods, and even in that final run with them not finding that first blood, that cruise missile gets just enough done for them to work that objective plan, know exactly where the setup from Seattle Surge was going to be on the retake, and they make that look so damn easy in that game 5.
So now there's like a bunch of questions in terms of like, how do you even rank the teams going into Major 3? It's still a weekend to play, sure, but this changes things a lot after Seattle had put together a couple of great weekends. A loss here to a Miami team that had been struggling all of a sudden throws things up in the air as we head back to the desk to break things down and set us up for our second series.
Wow, I was just looking through the numbers, and I didn't even believe my pick when I made it. Miami Heretics get it done in a game 5 against Seattle Surge, and honestly, Lucky shut down 04 the way 04 shut down Attached.